Hello and welcome to another Mental Wealth Moves podcast. I'm your host, Casey Dubrovic, and today for you we have a very special guest and a case study on neurodivergence, autism, ADHD, and trauma. Listen as Julia and Alan discuss with Casey their experience at Revitalize Ketamine Clinic and Rocked Wellness Bar, and understand how these treatments help people to live their very best lives. My name's Casey Dubrovic. I am the owner and founder of Revitalize Ketamine Clinics, Rocked Wellness Bar, and Epic Biosciences. Please take your time, dive in, enjoy this conversation about how these treatments were transformative for one young woman in her road to recovery. Thanks for tuning in. Let's get right into it. Julie, can you introduce yourself and tell us a little bit about your background? What brought you here?
Hi, my name is Julia Cartwright, and I'm 20 years old, and I am autistic, and I also have PTSD, amongst many other diagnoses. And so I came here because I am struggling with childhood events, namely being bullied very seriously and not being protected by other adults, and I'm just struggling with systems that are not built for people like me.
Yeah, well stated. That's really good. And Alan, can you describe what it's been like watching your daughter struggle before she started?
It's been a long haul with Julia. She was diagnosed with autism when she was 2, and shortly thereafter with ADHD, which comes along with autism. And Julia was ostracized by her classmates, and she had behavioral issues when she was K through 12. And I did as much as I could to be able to get her the medications, the therapies that would help. She's had ABA therapy. She's had occupational therapy. She's had speech therapy. She's had hyperbaric oxygen therapy, and several others. She had the treatment with several providers for magnetic resonance therapy. And we came to Revitalize because you were much easier to get to and to start the therapies that would help her than other providers. And I am personally appreciative of your efforts and your care and your concern of Julia. And I'm appreciative of the results that have been achieved since she's been here, where she's had both the magnetic resonance therapy and ketamine treatment. And I have to say today that it's not been a silver bullet. However, I see Julia being more rational, being more calm and serene, and generally all around good results based upon the magnetic resonance therapy and the ketamine treatment that she's received under your care and concern.
Awesome. Thank you, Alan. Thank you very much, Julia. Appreciate you both. Before coming here, Julia, what were your thoughts or expectations about the ketamine therapy?
I had no expectations. I didn't think it would work because I've undergone numerous treatments, such as cognitive behavioral therapy and stem cells, that work for most or the majority, but didn't work for me or may have even made me worse. And, so I thought, oh my gosh, this is my last resort. And it's like, if this doesn't work, then what? I can't be depressed forever, can I?
Right. Yeah. And then what led you to explore the ketamine treatments for Julia?
So I'm willing to try anything that won't hurt Julia, first of all, and second of all, have some studies that indicate that it may be effective in treating Julia's symptoms. So we knew that you guys provided not only the magnetic resonance therapy, but also the ketamine treatment. And I had read about ketamine. I have a science background, and so I checked into the studies. I was initially skeptical of ketamine because it is a experimental drug to some degree. But once I found that there were solid scientific studies that indicated that it was effective and didn't have any kind of side effects that were significant, and me wanting to help my honey, that's what brought me here and to seek your help.
I love that. Yeah. And it sounds like you talked about some of this, but did you have any specific concerns before she got started?
Well, I mean, it is a psychedelic medication, and we are not recreational drug users by any extent. So that was something that was of concern to me. But the more that I read about the scientific studies that under controlled conditions, that ketamine generally doesn't offer a threat at all. So when I saw the potential for it helping Julia and relatively minor downside effects, that's when I decided that I wanted Julia to try it if she was willing to try it. She's an adult, and so she can say yay or nay to any treatment that she has. And she'll have to speak for herself, but my understanding is from our talks together that she feels that it helped her.
Good, excellent. I love that. Thank you, Cole. And so, Julia, what was your experience like during the ketamine treatments? Did anything surprise you about how it felt or what you got out of it?
I didn't know what to expect, so I can't necessarily say that I've had any surprises. But when I would go to the ketamine, I would not be in the driver's seat, and I would feel like I'm floating or laying down or like I'm on a roller coaster. You just don't know what you're going to get.
Yeah, that's pretty accurate. And Alan, what did you notice in her after her ketamine session?
Well, she was much more serene and calm and rational. And we've always been close, but it seemed like the experience brought us even closer afterwards. And it lasted for some period of time. And I would say it has lasted now, even though she hasn't had a treatment for what, honey, a month or more?
Yeah, like almost 2 months at this point.
Right. So all in all, it was favorable for my purposes, and to a greater degree has modified her behavior, and again made her more logical, rational, better judgment. She thinks things through, and I attribute that to the effects of the ketamine.
Great, I love that. And so you did your TMS before another facility, and you continued your TMS here.
Yeah.
What was that experience like for you
here? It was good. I think there were some people who were kind of new, so they kind of experimented on me, which I'm just fine with. And I had 10 sessions here, each approximately 20 minutes long. And so I was put in a lounge chair, and they would just put a cap on me that was custom fit for me. Just like, and you'll get one too, if you come.
Mm-hmm. Love that. And so, Alan, from your perspective, how did the combination of ketamine and TMS help compared to other treatments?
So it's hard to attribute what percentage was the TMS in its favorable effect and what part was ketamine. Mm-hmm. But collectively, they have produced a young woman who is better adjusted, who's making better judgments and better decisions, and is more serene. And I might add that she's ready to go back to college now, and this summer will start her bachelor's degree to business. And I stand by, as she knows, ready to help, and that we look forward to continue her treatments, TMS and ketamine, to allow her to be stable while she's pursuing her bachelor's degree.
Yeah, oh, that's beautiful. Congratulations, Julia.
Thank
you. First hearing back about that. So that's awesome. You're really doing such amazing stuff for yourself.
Trying.
It's really cool to see.
All I can promise.
So I know, and you spoke on this a little bit, Julia, but there's a neurodivergence component there.
Yeah.
You're incredibly, very intelligent in so many different ways. And then certain ways you've recognized things are more challenging.
Yeah.
Have you noticed any shifts in regards to things that are challenging for you?
I still think that I have my challenging moments, but even if they're just as severe as they were before, they're not as frequent.
That very well said. As I said earlier, it hasn't been a silver bullet, but I would agree with her. Although she does have episodes, they're fewer and further in between.
That's awesome. Yeah, that's great. That makes an increased quality of life for everyone, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Because it's stressful being that stressed out, for sure. Yeah. And so, for you, Julia, how have these treatments changed the way you interact with your family, your friends, and anyone else you run into on a day-to-day basis?
I don't have friends to begin with, but I think that it has made me calmer and has made me take a step back during moments of conflict at times. And I think it's made me kind of go to my room and avoid things more instead of fighting.
Yeah, I would agree with that. She's better about handling conflict situations.
Yeah,
Again,
but it's all my fault all the time, though. Anyway.
Well, we've talked about that, and certainly that's not the case. But she is better about helping to resolve the issue and to being logical about issues as they come up, and that's been very helpful in having more peaceful family dealings.
That's great. Yeah, it sounds like a lot of things are still the same as far as what you're exposed to, and you're just handling those stressors way better. You're able to.
I just need to be exposed to them less.
Right? Don't we all? No, that's awesome. I appreciate you both. And so, for you, Alan, what do you think's been the most rewarding part of seeing Julia's progress?
Well, her being able to think through situations rather than just having a knee-jerk reaction, and her listening to factors. Any situation has its factors and facts and issues, and those things that affect whatever it is, and she's more receptive to receiving that information in order for her to develop a good opinion about the situation that she's faced with, and to be able to make more rational decisions. And I've noticed that from the very first time, her very first ketamine treatment, that she was more easy to discuss issues with, and that she was able to put issues in perspective more, and again, to make better decisions.
That's great. I love that. And Julia, if you could talk to your past self before starting treatment, what would you say?
I don't know what I would say, frankly. Maybe not everything is worth worrying about.
That's powerful.
Oh,
That's really powerful.
that, yeah. She's actually spoken that to me, where she's able to put things in perspective more, and some of the things that would bother her that in the grand scheme of things were not consequential, she's able to put things into perspective more.
Yeah, that's great. Yeah, beautiful. And then, Alan, for you, how has this experience changed your perspective on mental health?
It helps me to deal with Julia more easily when I know that she won't have a knee-jerk reaction as much as she did, and that we can discuss issues uh, more person to person, and that we can come mutually together, come to a favorable position and decision on how she would like to go about doing things. And she listens more and can decide for herself more about issues. Again, not being a perfect silver bullet, but it's made our relation much more easy and much more uh, having ability to be calmer in our decision-making process.
I love that. Yeah, just like that better. Yeah, you said it really well. Julia, what would you say to someone who's considering ketamine but might be nervous about it?
Well, come in and find out what it's all about. Come ask Casey or Jill. They'll be happy to meet you.
Awesome. And what advice would you give, Alan, to other parents who are watching?
Well, I would encourage them to study for themselves the efficacy of ketamine and TMS as far as that's concerned. They should be able to feel comfortable and make a decision on their own. I will point out that if they simply do an internet search, they can find the studies that show the efficacy and the safety of both TMS and ketamine. The first time that I really saw a article and studies in regards to TMS was the Washington Post. The Washington Post, about 8 years ago, had in their front page had 2 full pages devoted to the efficacy of TMS and in treating PTSD in particular with veterans, and them showing that it also had efficacy with those that were suffering from mental disabilities, including autism. And the ketamine, I actually saw several studies done by reputable institutes on the efficacy of ketamine. So I would recommend to parents or individuals that are seeking to improve their mental health to study for themselves and to be able to determine for themselves that it's a reliable and has merit in treating. Although the disclaimer, it doesn't work for everyone. We're only looking at a statistical situation where the studies show that it helps most, but not all. So I would encourage them to do their own study on it, and at least our experience was favorable, and I haven't seen any unwanted side effects with Julia, but we're only a data point of one. But our experience has been positive.
Excellent. Beautiful. Thank you. Well stated. And both of you guys, if you could sum up your experience here with us at Revitalize Ketamine Clinic in a few words, what would those words be?
I think it has made me feel safer as an individual and has helped me to regain the people here have helped me to regain trust.
A big component of this are the owners of Revitalize, and I have nothing but praise for the 2 owners, and they answer any questions that you may have, and I have to say that they were able to ally any questions or any concerns that I had and explain the process and what to expect. And I would encourage anyone that has tried other therapies and have not worked for them the way that they intended to give it a try for TMS and ketamine. And by the way, that's not the only therapies that Revitalize offers. There's something called ROC that has a whole variety of therapies, including color therapy, cold water plunge, sensory deprivation, and others that may well help you to feel calmer, to be able to make better decisions, and to generally have better mental health.
I love that. Yeah, thanks for adding that, Alan. I appreciate you. And appreciate you guys placing your trust in us. And is there anything else that I didn't ask that you guys wanted to share?
I think I'm all right.
I think I've pretty much finished everything I need to say.
All right, beautiful. Well, thank you guys so much for taking the time. It means so much. You guys are helping more people by being here. So awesome.
We appreciate it. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you. Thanks so much for joining me for another Mental Wealth Moves podcast. Today you heard Julia and Alan's story on how the treatments that we offer here at Revitalize can be incredibly helpful for those with neurodivergence, those with trauma, those with autism, those with ADHD. So if you or someone else is suffering or feels like things could potentially be better, reach out today for a no obligation consultation. We're here to help. We have lots of different options that can potentially help you to live your very best life. So reach out today. Again, this is Casey Dubrovic, Revitalize Ketamine Clinic, Rocked Wellness Bar, Epic Biosciences, founder and visionary behind awesome stuff that we're creating. Thanks so much for tuning in and make it a great day. Remember, what's good for you is good for the universe.